There's a version of strategy that looks productive from the outside and feels productive from the inside. You're researching, you're planning, you're refining your approach, you're making sure everything is right before you move. But none of it is actually moving your business forward. Hi, I'm Cindy Gordon, a selective visibility strategist and business mentor. I built and sold multiple online businesses, and I am the founder of the Unmistakable Movement. The pattern I'm about to name is one of the most common things that I see with online business owners who are smart, capable, and genuinely stuck. And as a reminder, if you would like to get on my email newsletter list, I send it out every Thursday to over 1,500 other online entrepreneurs who actually love to open up their email and read this one. You don't want to miss it. Link in the show notes to join us. So here's the strategy as procrastination. So how exactly does this work? Something needs to happen in your business. So you show up more consistently on a channel. You need to launch an offer. You need to make a decision about where your visibility belongs. So instead of doing the thing, you go and look for a better strategy first. So you listen to more podcasts. So thank you for listening to mine. You take another course. You map out another 12-week content plan. You research what other people are doing and what's working for them in your space. So you get super crystal clear in your strategy. And then you get a little bit clearer. You find one more thing to figure out before you start. So the strategy actually becomes the activity. The actual work, which is showing up, at some point needing a better strategy, stops being preparation and starts being the reason that nothing moves. Entrepreneurs who are building something right now are not the ones with the best plan. They are the ones who started before the plan was perfect. This pattern shows up most in the entrepreneurs who care, the ones who really take their business seriously, the ones who understand that visibility decisions matter and want to get them right. And that desire to get it right is exactly what the procrastination hides behind. Because strategy feels like responsibility. It feels like we're doing the smart thing. It feels like the opposite of an impulsive action. So when you are deep in the research and the planning phase, there's no alarm that is going off that's telling you something's wrong. It feels like work. It looks like work, but it's work without output, and that isn't progress. It's preparation that never ends. The underlying fear is almost always the same. What if I execute and it doesn't work? What if I show up and no one responds? What if I commit to a visibility strategy and it's the wrong one? But here's what I want you to sit with. The risk of executing imperfectly is totally real. The cost of not executing at all is guaranteed. You cannot learn what works in your specific business by studying what works in someone else's. You need your own data. And the only way to get your own data is to actually make the move. Real strategy has a decision at the end of it. You gather the information, you assess your options, you make the call, and you move. The assessment period has a defined end point. You are not researching indefinitely. You are researching until you know enough to take the next step. Strategy as procrastination has no defined endpoint. There's always one more thing to figure out, one more piece of content that would make the decision clearer, one more expert to learn from before you trust yourself enough to act. The tell is in the question that you keep asking. If you're already asking, what should my strategy be, and you've been asking that question for more than a few weeks without moving, that's not a strategy problem. That's an execution problem dressed up as a strategy problem. But the shift is small, but significant. Stop asking what your strategy should be and start asking what the next action should be. Not perfect action, not fully optimized action, just the next one. The one that moves something forward today, even if it's not exactly right. Readiness comes from doing and not planning. The clarity you're waiting for before you start is almost always the clarity that comes from having started. The practical move when you notice yourself in this pattern is a strategy deadline. You need to set one. You get a week or a day, depending upon the decision, to gather the information and to think about it. When the time is up, you make the call with what you have and you move. You execute. Not because the information you'd get from even more research isn't valuable, but because the information that you'd get from actually executing is even more valuable. And You can only get that one way. The entrepreneurs that I watch building real visibility momentum are not the ones with the most sophisticated strategies. They are the ones who make reasonable decisions very quickly and adjust based upon what actually happens. They are in motion, and being in motion means that you are collecting real data about your real business instead of theories about someone else's. Done imperfectly beats planned indefinitely every single time. You don't need more ideas, you just need to know which one to actually commit to. And that is where a strategy session comes in, and it's what it gives you. It gives you the clarity to move without second guessing. 90 minutes, your specific business, and you walk away with a clear next step and the confidence to take it. Link is in the show notes if that's for you. Thanks for listening today. This is The Strategic Entrepreneur.